Anything else catch my eye this week? Actually, I did see that Rick Beato. We always have to mention Rick Beato. He's been asked to comment on the Ed Sheeran and Marvin Gaye case again because that seems to be reaching some sort of resolution. I kind of dived back into that whole case, the copyright cases between Ed Sheeran and he did. There was one against Marvin Gaye, and then there's one that was just absolutely outlandish. I can't remember what the. I think Shape of You. He was accused of having copied the line off someone else, but he decided like I'm going to put my foot down. This is ridiculous. I'm going to court over this. And I saw a great interview with him and his producer, who happens to be the Snow Patrol guitar player, talking about the mental toll it took on them to get through that, and they had to do it just to set a precedence because it was getting ridiculous. All these people just accusing all these massive hits of having copied their four chords, like, and their point was there's only 12 notes in music. There's only so many variations, and in pop music, like lyrics are very simple. Like the way to have a great message is to have a simple lyric. So you're obviously going to find examples that are similar. But then I think back to the blues in the Marvin Gaye case. Yeah, the song Ed Sheeran song. If you strip away the vocal, it's the backing track to What's Going On by Marvin Gaye. But it's a new song. Like any blues song, it's the same case. Like the same four chords, the same rhythm. There's thousands of songs that are uniquely recognizable. I think it just got out of hand, and Ed Sheeran is not settling in court like he has done in the past. He talked about his song Photograph when he was just taking off. He was accused of copying some other song, and he got the advice to just pay them off even though he hadn't copied the song. And he kind of ate at him for years, and then he took the stand with Shape of You. With the Marvin Gaye case, there is a case there, the backing track does sound very similar, but I think we need to get over this in music. Like all the great composers steal is the quote, There's a great John Williams quote where he was asked to do the music to Schindler's List, and he sat down, and he always watches the movie without any music. He sat down and watched Schindler's List, and he was emotionally moved by it, and Steven Spielberg went to talk to him after, and John Williams just walked past him and he didn't say a word. And then Steven Spielberg was like, oh, he must have hated the movie. And he came back and he was so blown away by what he'd just seen. John Williams said, like, I can't do justice to this movie. Like, my music just isn't good enough. And Steven Spielberg said, I know, John, but all the good composers are dead, or something like to that.
That's perfect.
I butchered the quote, but that's the sentiment.
What do they say? Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery.
Yeah, and that's what John Williams does. Like all the Star Wars stuff is host, basically, like the planets. Star Wars is uniquely identifiable, And if you do break it down, you can see the where he's getting the music and where he's getting the ideas, the orchestrations and the arrangements and things like that, and even just very specific chords. But I think with music, it's the language of music. Like you have to take something and then build on it.
Yeah, I saw that video. I fully agree. And Rick kind of points out that, maybe Marvin Gaye estate is entitled to some money. I think he says 25%, but certainly not all. He makes the point as well that there's a chorus in the Ed Sheeran song which is entirely different and not related to the Marvin Gaye track at all. I think it would be extremely difficult to make the argument that the song got more popular as a result of the Marvin Gaye arrangement being in the song. Certainly it would have a familiarity about it, but I don't think it contributes to the popularity. Let's face it, Ed Sheeran doesn't need somebody else's backing track or chord progression to write an absolute smash hit. But it is just that. I mean, every new song is in some way inspired by an old song, and that's the way it should be, and that's the way musical evolution has continued on.
Definitely. But I like the fact that Ed Sheeran is, or has in the past, followed through in cases just so there is a precedent there, because that's the whole issue with law. If someone rules incorrectly, that can be used as a reference going forward.
100%. And I think he said shortly after that particular case as well, that if anyone is going to be inspired by his music, and if one of his chord progressions or melodies turns up in another song, he's not going to be quick to sue. He would think of it as a, a compliment.
You talked about Grimes earlier and how forward thinking she is. She's already said openly, like, you can rip off my songs and do whatever you want with them. I don't care anymore. My music is your music, you know.
I subscribe to that.